Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and welcome back to another episode of Humankind. We've just conquered this little city here under the rocks, which is the city of Hattusha. We have conquered that from the Hittites, I want to say, but these days they're called the Huns. And that's very nice. So that is a success in our war against the Hittites. We've now control over pretty much the entire southern part of this map. And that is pretty nice. So yeah, let's do a couple of things with this city. The first thing I do want to do is rename this. Let's call this Kransberg. Krans is a South African name or Afrikaans name for sort of an overhanging cliff, and I do like that because A, it's in the south, so South African names do make sense to me, and it's somewhat adjacent to that, so I just like the idea, and it does go with the theme of Cliff City, West Point, and all of that, so that's nice. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to attach the adjacent territories here for a little bit of influence, but that does give this city a lot more control here, which I do appreciate. It also gives it 12 people. The stability here is pretty much lacking, so I dislike that. I do think we should give it an expert policy. Let's do make the priority here to grab some industry and then maybe some food. No, I actually dislike food. You know what? Let's actually shift signs towards that. Yeah, I think that's good. Now, in the long run, there are a couple of questions what we do want to make with this city. So the AI did build it up in a way that I kind of dislike. There are a couple of things here that I don't really think are that nice, honestly. There are a couple of industrial districts down here. I think we could place a third one down here so that we've got a triangle there. There is a triangle of food resource tiles. That I think is okay. We're going to use those. And then there's a bit of an awkward placement around here. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going to make out of that. We could try to grab this city here with a sort of triangle-ish situation. I dislike that though. I'm halfway of a mind to remove this down here because it just doesn't seem to go anywhere. And maybe we replace that there with another commercial district. I think we should also try to build a harbour district down here sometime. Potentially over here, that would be nice with the adjacency bonuses there. Right, for now we can't really build any districts because we don't have the stability to do so. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to try to increase the industrial capacity here so that we can fill in some of the things that really are required, I think. So let's see what is the most important one. This would give us 10 industry. That sounds good. This would give us industry and river. There's only this little bit of river here, so that's around 6. So that's not as important. Don't think we have any copper down here, so this is not that useful, but we are getting more. How many builders district have we got? Makers quarters. 3, 5, so that is 5 plus a couple of adjacency bonuses. I think we probably want to do the artisan workshop first, then go into the forge, and then the question is how many people have we got? 12. You know what? I think if we do use our special ability, Land Tracer here, and turn money and signs into building, that's going to be fine. And then we can actually use this one over here to give us 12 additional signs, which we're going to turn into industry, so that's actually the most important one. So let's actually start with the library, even though that's kind of funny. But yeah, that's going to work out too. Right, I do potentially want the public fountain because even the stability of 53 is not enough for me. But we don't need that immediately. It's going to take some time to get to its target anyway. So we don't need to prioritize that at all. Right, and then I guess we can go for the watermill too at the latest point. Flood irrigation, it's going to be useful after some time. Again, it's not a priority, I think. Right, so yeah, let's use it like that. The question is, do we want to buy out the library immediately? I think so, because we do have a lot of money here. Let's use it. Let's put it to good use. That is nice. That is going to give us more industry. And then all of the rest here is going to come in a little bit faster. Good, okay, so that does set up Kransberg quite well, I believe. And we do also have a new tenant, which is lovely. So, what do we want to do? Beware of false prophets. Plus 50 signs on cultural wonders. We do have 2 cultural wonders at the moment, right? We do have the Angkor Wat, and we do have, yeah, the Mausoleum Metallica Knuckles. That's interesting because I would like to talk about my wonder strategy in a moment. Then we have more stability if territories follow a foreign religion. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think most of the religion, yeah, pretty much everyone here is following the state religion, so that's not really something that is going to happen. Donate generously? No, we don't really have that many alliances, and honestly, money is not that important. 3 maximum holy sites is kind of nice. How many have we got up, by the way? Is there any indication about how many religious sites we do have? No? Well, and then we have meditate often, 2 combat strength on unit. Nice, but honestly not important. Okay, let's use signs. We're currently making 400. That should give us a nice boost there of 100 at least. And more for further wonders. So, yeah, 500. That is very lovely indeed. Good. Let's talk about wonders. We have advanced to the next era, so there are 4 wonders that we can claim. And they are honestly kind of interesting. So, it will of course cost some influence to claim these in the first place. And there are a couple of ones that I do like. There's Machu Picchu. All of your other cities gain food equal to 50% of the food produced by this city. Must be placed on a mountain. We have a lot of mountains. That is going to give us a lot of food in all of our other places, so that's huge for getting more population. I like that idea. Now, however, that being said, and all of these do give us stability, and that's nice too, you know. So that's great, and fame. Money on Calm District? Honestly, not the most important one. Neither is face. But then there's the Topkapi Palace, and that is interesting because this does give us, I read this as, on this specific city where we are building that, we're going to get 5% more industry, and we're going to get additional production towards any shared project, which can also include further wonders. So here's the question. If we do look at our cities, which one does have the most industry? I think it's probably going to be our capital of Cliff City, but I'm not entirely sure, so it does make sense to check that out. Yeah, 750 industry. I think it would be great if we were to get the Topkapi Palace. Let's do claim that for 1,000. We can't claim any other wonders at the moment because we need to build that first. But I think that is exactly what we want to do, right? So let's set that up over here, and then we can use that bonus to grab other places as well. The only real question is, where do we want to place it then? So ideally it should be on a location where it's gathering a lot of new resources that we don't have access to right now. So there's only a little bit of industry down here. There's a little bit of food here, but honestly it's not that much. We could place it over here. That would just give us like 7 more resources. Not fantastic. The area up here is mostly claimed. We could go over here. That would be 2 tiles that are actually pretty good. But again, probably not critical. Something to be said to gain access to both of these. No, that is already claimed, isn't it? Yeah, that one is already claimed. So honestly, this is not that useful down here. We could potentially get some food here on the oasis. But I'm thinking probably this area here is going to be the best, isn't it? There is a lot of industry. That's how much? 12, 17 industry. And 2 food. And we're probably going to get some bonuses here because they're on stone fields and such. Little bit to be gotten down here. And since we can place that anywhere, I think building it in these stone fields is going to be nice. And it's a bit weird to build this all the way over here, but you know what? Let's do it. Right, so you're going to build that. Before we continue building that, I think it might make more sense to build up the second of our special districts. So we have got the first one over here, and that does give us 3 more industry per industrial worker. And we have a lot of industrial workers, so yeah, it does make a lot of sense to focus these guys. And where are we actually building the second one? I think over here, right? So since that does give us so much industry, let's actually prioritize that. Let's build it first. And then we do have one more location where we can build such a thing. Both of you would give us 59 industry. I think down here might be useful. Up over here, you think's all claimed, right? So this 56 is not a lot. Doesn't do any bad things for us though. 58 over here. 59 over there. I think this up over here could actually be a very nice thing for a commons quarter. 17. But we don't want to... No, we can't build it up there anyway because it needs to be in this area down here. We can also replace some of these areas down there. Wouldn't be the worst idea. 47. Ideally, we should place it somewhere where we're going to get a lot of adjacency bonuses. And one of these areas might actually be up here to build yet another district there. Gain access to that mountain, gain access to a lot of adjacency bonuses. You know what, let's do it. Let's do it, and we're going to prioritize that too before this, before the wonder, so that you can claim all of these things and sort of blitz through them quite quickly. Good, I like that idea, good. One more idle city, you guys, let's think about also building up these things. So, we could build it down there. Doesn't sound terrible. 71, sounds pretty good actually. 67 over here. That would give us access to that. 71 is nice. How about over here though? So there is an industrial quarter on this tile, right? Yeah, it's all mixed up there. Right, how about here? 68. 68 isn't bad. These are all pretty good tiles. They are all so great, actually. Okay, let's do start down here. We are a little bit low on stability, so we should do a little bit about that too. Yeah, you know what? I think the City Watch is a great addition, so let's do these two things. Good. Right, so that does clarify these things. Now, on towards our armies. I'm slightly worried because we did see incursions here by both the Maya up here, and we also saw, and that is the most important thing, we saw the Aztecs sending some troops down here and actually attacking us. I very much dislike that idea, and in fact I think we should actually consider West Point here too. So first of all, can we build good things here? Yeah, we can. That's a 61 and that's a 56 up there. You know what, let's do build it down here. It's going to give us nice adjacency here to this marshland and woodland, but we're also going to get bonuses there, so that's great. That's going to be much more important than the customs farm. Where else can we build these things? Right, so we can build one in the south. Now, the south is not especially an area where we are lacking any industrial efforts. We do have the Barai, but other than that, so we're probably gonna continue our construction of science down here, right? So that might be a nice science triangle. And then an industrial district over here. That would cost us food. We should have placed that over here, but well, on the other hand, we do need the rivers, so yeah, that does mean probably we'll need an industrial sector over there at some point. Do we have industry up here in the north too? I think we did, didn't we? Yeah, we've got about a rye. We should potentially build one of these guys. 57 over there, 51 over here, but it would cost us some food. Now, that being said, it's looking confusing here because we do have also, yeah, there's a harbour there. So just thinking out loud, that would be a plus 22 there. So if we were to place an industrial zone here and here, we'd be losing a lot of food. We would be losing a lot of food, but we would potentially gain a lot of stability by having that adjacent to all of these things. It's kind of okay-ish. There's very little industry to be gained down there. And we are losing so much food on these river tiles. Kind of dislike that. Well, let's continue with the first one there. And that's going to be alright. Okay. Right, so armies. You guys down here, you're actually fine, I think, for the moment. Let's nevertheless shift you a little bit over here. And then up here we do need to check out how that is going to work, because they were coming in at us with 8 guys, and 8 guys is just a little bit too strong. Right, so we're going to keep these guys together. We are researching some things here to get war summons and potentially some crossbowmen, which I think are going to be great. But nevertheless, come on, do get over there. You're going to stay here for the moment. Then we've got our ships, our trusted explorers up over here. You guys can try to find out what we've got there and whether we have got any interesting resources. For now, these islands seem to be pretty relevant. But that being said, I think I would like a ship over here too. So let's actually prioritize that as such, so that we have someone to do some exploration there. Good. And the turn. And then see what we've got. Good. Right, so West Point is getting some population. Wonderful Mount Everest has been unlocked. So someone else found something, and the Aztecs have declared war on the English. Right, so I do believe that the war between the Aztecs and the English is going to be a good thing for us, because the English are a little bit more friendly towards us right now, and I think they are already at war actually against the other guys there. So yeah, they're pretty much leading an all-out war on their country. So we might actually want to consider whether it is time for us to try to jump the gun at them, because they have been pushing fairly aggressively against us, and they do have a lot of salt, which is actually fairly nice. It does give some food stability, some food bonuses. And I would like this to be attached to, let's say, West Point or something like that, so that might not be the worst idea. Speaking of West Point, you are still converting a lot of the other things into... Ooh, you know what? Actually, I think we should not use farmers, because again, farmers are not that useful. Even if they're producing 8 food, they're using more than 8 food. You can see we are consuming 250 food per population. No, 250 food in total for our entire population. We currently have a population of 24. So you can see every population does consume more than 10 food at this point. There's a... I think it's 8 plus 10% of the square value. So 24, you can calculate that yourself. But basically it's more than 8. That is the important thing. And yeah, it doesn't make any sense for us to be trying to push that. Right, that being said, the question is, shouldn't we try to switch you guys to actual money and science generation rather than only industry? And I think it might be time for that over here. So let's actually, yeah, get rid of the thing over here and actually make some money and science again. You're still going to produce that fairly quickly, so I think that's still a good idea. By the way, does that give us more worker slots? It does not. Okay, that's an interesting factor. That is interesting. More worker slots would be pretty nice. And I'm thinking whether we should start to build some actual walls here. Well, for now it's good that we have something. Right, that being said, we have now our first ship up in these waters. So let's try to do some exploration with you guys. We're gonna go up here and then stay here for the moment and sail on towards the next areas next time around. Good. You guys are spotting something down here, so let's actually take a look at that. Ooh, this is a much more substantial island. We might want to try to send a scout over there at some point. Right, we do have further idle armies. You guys, speaking of scouting, you can go a little bit up there, check out what they've got. And then apparently they do also have an army here. Let's move in that direction anyway, and then potentially attack them if they do continue to stay in lands that we basically claim as ours. Right, so that being said, for now do skip. And then you guys down here, honestly, I think we are going to skip with both of these groups too, because I do want to keep an eye on the situation here if they are going to do any more incursions here. You guys are just going to continue building your stuff. Your stability is increasing. You're actually now ready to receive further districts. But I think I want to hold off on that for now because I don't want to push the stability any lower than it currently is. So yeah, let's continue building the stuff that we've got here. And that being said, I think the artisan buyout is going to be useful. And the forge then is going to be quite useful too. So yeah, let's continue with that construction there. Cliff City, you are going to build your districts here. That's nice. How are we looking in terms of error stars? Yeah, it's not an urgent matter, but it is going to be useful, I think. Right. Enter.
Whether or not the world goes hungry, with 30 farmers' quarters, this city certainly won't.
We've got 30 farmer quarters? I mean, I think that must be now entire empire, right? That cannot just be... Oh, look at that. There is some berry bushes down here. Interesting. Some copper. Not going to be too excited about that, honestly. I think the age of copper is turned a little bit. Ooh, and we have a new question here. Industrial production. Hark, your empire is a land of plenty, and your cities is a quilt work of farms and small holdings that feed your hungry and ambitious people, while new methods of the age bring huge grain silos into your employ, transforming the farming landscape. Right, let's take a look here. So what can we do? Nationalized industry, +1 farmer slot on city per farmer's quarter, or do we want to go for money? Now, I think privatized industries are a little bit more for me. I'm not entirely sure whether we want money. Well, look at that. That does give us industrial might. And we are very industrial. I dislike farmers, though. A little bit more collectivism for more industry. Let's do an enacted.
Vital products and resources.
There's also still the question of army.
Could provide more freedom and autonomy.
Right, there we go. What else have we got? Edgeworth, you did build your thingy somewhere. Not entirely sure where that was. Ah, down there. Okay, fine. Let's take a look at that, by the way. Just want to see it. It does look fairly nice. Okay, what else are you going to do? So, how are you looking in infrastructure? More science per researchers again? I think this is not the city for a lot of science, so I don't think we want to do that. We don't have any farmers, so that's okay too. Yeah, so let's continue building these special districts, which are going to give us much more industry. Question is really where? I suppose here is fine. It's as good a place as any, so let's build it there. Then we can build another one over here somewhere. That's all 65. 65 doesn't change much. But we could potentially build another district down here at some point. It would be lovely to break into this northern region, so let's build another one over there. Okay, then you guys are going to do that. And, ooh, your stability is dropping precariously. That is starting to look a little bit worrisome. Do we have more things that could increase your stability? I think we are losing some stability here because we're not finishing builder quarters or other quarters, and that is coming to bite us a little bit. Right. There is the question of the obelisk. Let's take a look at all of our cities here. 88%. West Point is 90% and Kratzenberg is 43%. You are the most worrisome here. But you're also going to get the public fountain, so that's going to be nice at least. Charcoal kiln, that's not really required right now. Yeah, we do need to get our stability under control. Could do this. It's 1,000 points though. This is less for more stability, I believe. Very little stability down there though. Yeah, this city is a bit of a problem, child. There are not that many districts that can work super well together. Why not here? That's a plus 12 on stability. It's not too bad, is it? And more influence. Do we want to build some things over here? No, these are just too good tiles. This tile isn't great. Oh, it's a plus 12. Plus 12 isn't bad, especially if we were to continue building in that direction. Will we ever do that though? Could build up a little bit more money there. I mean, a plus 12 is nice-ish. Plus 7 really, I think a plus 7 is not enough. We would need to build some other districts down here, and I just don't see that happening at the moment. We could build here and build a commercial district here for some more money. No, no, no. Honestly, plus 12 is what we're going to get. And we're going to build that up here. Yeah, that's going to be alright. More idle armies. So you guys down here are fine. You know what? Just wait here until you're healed. That's going to be completely fine. Then you guys can set sail. We're not really finding anything for now, but hopefully we're going to find land soon. You guys can attack there, can you? No, you cannot. Can we not attack up there? No, we can't. Ooh, but look at that, they are sending some troops our way. That is looking dangerous. That is looking dangerous. These are too many troops. That being said, we can upgrade these guys here to bowmen, so that's going to be a huge boost from 20 to 31. Can we move after that? I think we can, right? Yeah. So these guys are going to make us more powerful. We're going to do that across the board here. That's nice. Good. Right. Next in terms of science. Now, I believe most of our people here should be... They're 27. They're a grappler. Honestly, the grappler thing is not that useful. These guys here are 35. That would allow us to upgrade very quickly, very strongly. We could also try to build some new units here. With a ranged combat unit, receives a penalty, can perform a move, and... So these are good skirmishes. I'm not sure whether they ever do upgrade. Forts are not that important. Absorb city is not that important. Army logistics is nice, but ultimately not the most important thing I find. More industry, always useful, especially what we are building. Guilds... I would like to get to patronage at some point, but that is gonna take a long while. The other alternative is to try to get to gunpowder as soon as possible. What would be required? We can go to chivalry, so feudalism, chivalry, 5 turns. The Hamlets can be super useful, although I think at this point we have mostly used them. So that's 5 turns. Feudalism is kind of good too because it does increase feud production. I would like to bypass the need for heavy infantry or military architecture, but I think we can't. Not in good faith. Three mast ships are also kind of nice. Settlers. Plus 10% science would be very useful. As would be chartered companies for even more science per population. And movable typeface. Plus science per researchers. Very important. How long would it take us? It's not actually that far away, is it? So that has 2 prerequisites, and these are either. So in 11 turns, we could be at movable typeface. Unless we do really want to get... Okay, you know what? I think the best thing here, the stopgap measure, is to go for Swordsman, and then into movable typeface. Alchemy, yeah, that's going to give us a huge research boost, and that is going to allow us to backfill all of these things. Nice, I like it. There's another event. The human cost. Across the border where war ravages the empire of English, thousands have abandoned their homes and are now seeking sanctuary in our peaceful lands. Refugees, and no doubt some agitators too, are marching near the closest city of West Point. They are tired but proud, afraid yet hopeful. It is a delicate matter, and one that may have far-reaching consequences. What is your decree? Do we process them? So get 2 population for 75 money. Nice. It would move us towards more individualism, give us a little bit less industry. That's unfortunate. We could refuse them. They will be sent back and the border will be reinforced. Unexpected consequences. Or just welcome them and move a little bit towards this. No. I do think we're going to process them. We do have the money to really use them, and just the population is going to be very welcomed here. And we actually do need to be a little bit careful here because we're getting close to the population caps. So we'll need to make sure that these people have good employments. Yeah, like, for example, in research. Okay, that is nice. Good. What else can we do? You are idle, so you have fulfilled all of that stuff. You are fine in your stability here. Yeah, I think, you know what? Manuscript. More science per researcher. That is going to give us a lot more science and more slots, so that is a good choice. Barracks, watchtowers. I am afraid that these guys are at some point going to start a sneak attack. So maybe some better walls would be useful. It's going to be less than a turn of production, so we are going to do it. And then the Great Fish Market is probably also going to be useful after some time. Right, that being said, do we want to use some pikemen and stuff? I think not. I think we're okay for now. So let's think about further infrastructure. We have built you. You're very nice over there. I do think some further science sectors down here would be kind of useful. So 1 down here, and then if we do want to get to triple, I think 1 over there, right? That does not quite connect us up to here. And it does not give us access to the science that we could be getting down here, but I don't see us capable of doing that. So the big question is, where do we place the next one? I think over here is good, so that we have a nice triangle there. That's good. That's a little bit more important than the money. And let's just try to sneak these the stone walls in, because I think they are going to be... They're going to at least give an impression of strength, which might or might not be justified, but that is good. That being said, I think that was a good place to put in a cut. So let's see what these guys up here are going to do, and whether we can counter them in some fashion. I would very much love to do that, but we do need to be a little bit careful there. So that being said, hope you enjoyed. Do leave a like, and hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.